Now, Terence, you are a young man. What has been the role of the youth? Because we're talking about the electorate in general, and that includes the young people as well. What has their role been in this particular election of 2015?
Fantastic. Before answering that question, I'll try to paint a paradigm. When I was much younger, if my father says sit down, I say yes, sir. My dad just comes in and you hear network news about to start, all of us scamper away. Nobody stays in the parlor. Today I'm a father myself, and my 10-year-old son, when I say sit down, he says, Dad, why? When I say, TJ, sit down, he says, why? And I said, oh, no, TJ, you have to sit down so you don't hurt yourself. And he said, oh, okay. Then he sits down. Back in those days, I dare not come into the parlor to watch network news. Network news was a no-no for me. Today, TJ comes in and says, that one moment.
Carry the remote.
Yes, that one moment. So when you look at that, and you understand that in the last 16 years of our democracy, an informal average of 2 million people gets to become of voting age. Now, if you prorate that over the last 16 years, you will see that we have 32 million brand new voters who are of that youthful demography. So what have they done? They've brought the discussion from an innuendo based on you don't understand. I'm your elder. When I'm talking, you listen. To address me on Facebook, address me on Twitter, send me an SMS, debate with me, talk to me. That is a profound impact. Because back in the days, you say, oh, if you know, I'm just coming from a meeting. We're coming from a meeting, and every kid is looking at you, yes, sir. And then we learn to sing the jingles, but we don't contribute to anything that is being discussed. Today, it's totally different. You put it out on Twitter. I see people much older than me toting Twitter, smartphones, and stuff. And I'm like, whoa, we're bringing them to our own terms. We're bringing them to a place where we can interrogate them, and we will not have to be precluded from that place because you are not an elder. Welcome in the meeting of elders. On Facebook, we are Twitter handles. There is nothing you can do about it. So that's the impact the youth demography have had on this election at this point.
But what are the things that the youth are discussing on social media? Because that's like their turf. Especially as concerned these elections, what are the things what are the discussions that are going on?
Fantastic, but let's take it back again. I always try to bring it from a perspective.
Okay.
I wouldn't imagine Fashola on a good day taking Davido and dancing with him in the streets of Lagos. But he did it at the stadium, which means irrespective of whatever you want to stereotype him as, he recognized that he's a demographic. The youth are dynamic in the way they think. If it's an election era, you bring election, they discuss election. You bring sports, they discuss sports. You bring entertainment, they discuss entertainment. It might surprise you. At a point, we went to Abuja Literary Society event, and they did 1 hour of poetry. 80% of them was political content. Amazing. Check it out, Abuja Literary Society. So what they discuss depends on the topic presented in front of them. If you present international politics, they meet you there. They can tell you exactly who is who and what is what, even though they may not have lived outside those climes. But they are empowered because the mantra of the youth is, if I don't know it, Google it.
True. And to corroborate what you're saying, a lot of what Dr. Cooper said a few minutes ago is now being quoted and retweeted by young people, and it's all right here in front of
Youth power, that's our impact.
Now, Oscar, the leadership is obviously what we're talking about right now. Now, what credentials would the electorate be looking for in that person that they hope will lead them at the center, at the state level, at the local government level? What should we be looking for? I mean, the campaigns have been so robust. I don't think we've ever seen any kind of campaigns like we have seen for these coming on elections. Billboards, posters, radio is jam-packed, TV. I mean, the whole work, they're just attacking us from all angles. And we're likely to get a bit confused, Oscar. What should we be looking at? and looking for?
It's very clear. For us to get out of the woods, we're looking for that person who wants to lead, should be that man who inspires us. Nigerians need motivation in the right direction. They need to be inspired in the positive. Inspired in the positive. Do not tell me that the other man with another religion is a bad man. Do not tell me that this other person is 10 times more corrupt than this other person, but tell me, what are you going to do differently? What paradigm would you create? And I begin to feel proud that I am a Nigerian. That is what I believe everybody, not just the youths this time. We're not talking about just them. We're talking about everybody. For so long, Nigeria has been mistreated. Nigeria has been cheated. Nigeria has been dealt with in all sorts of manners. Nigeria is just waiting for one little thing. When will Nigeria be loved? When can we say we do this for our country? That is what everybody is looking for. In the absence of that, when you don't have that kind of thing in the open, people just get this, frustrated, and they begin to air their views the way they want. You need to see the passion. You need to see the way. People are coming out so violently. Nobody talks to you politely anymore. And what does that mean? Frustration leads to aggression. It's as simple as that. And that's what's going on today. But if somebody was talking to you in a manner that brings out the best in you, first is that you're listening. You listen carefully and you begin to say, oh, I think that man has a point, Oh, yeah, good. I can begin to prepare myself in this direction. But no. Now it's like, look, it's free for all. Look, I'm expecting that guy would tell me something wonderful, but he's saying nothing. I get rude. I had an argument with my son this morning. My son is there, the youths, on social media. He reads up something, he comes to me, he doesn't talk, he screams at me. What the hell is going on? And I was like, God, what went wrong? I must have been doing something wrong that my father did right. I can't scream at him. This man is screaming at me. And we're not quarreling. It's just the way he feels. But I felt good. And I was telling my friend when we were coming, I said, the beauty of it all? We gave freedom to the kids. But now that we've given freedom, let's give direction. Because without direction, the freedom will be used wrongly. That's the problem here.
Pastor Arno, let's look at what's going on in the northern part of the country. Now, generally, we understand that the voting population, the youth, form about 60% of the entire voting population. And there's a large number of youth in the north. What are the things they are looking at as they prepare for the election? What are they talking about?
Good. When we finished our meeting, in one of the major decisions we have taken before closing is that what shall we do to stop these political gangs, these boys that go about with knives, cutlasses, as thugs? What shall we do to stop torturing? That was number one assignment we gave to ourselves. And we realized that all the politicians, they are either members of our churches or members of our mosque. And we said we are going to begin from there. We shall warn them that thuggery and violence, because I came here actually with two caps as a member of non-violence NOVA. I'm a member of NOVA and also a Christian leader from the north. So we said thuggery is not tolerable, and we are going to do all we could to stop them. You are free to identify with any party of your choice, and you must know that politics is like a game of football. The youths should not be drugged by any politician and then incite them, give them cutlasses to go and start destroying people, destroying properties. No. They should understand that they are Nigerians, and whatever they should do, they should think of doing something good for Nigerians. They should allow themselves to identify with the various parties of their choice and vote for various leaders of their choice. That is is a huge task because a lot of enlightenment has to be done within a very short and limited time.
A lot of enlightenment. The youth, basically, would it be a question of what they're doing? And well, let's compare what's happening there with the youth. You talked about the gang, the thugs in the north, and what's happening in the south. What are they doing differently? What are the leaders doing differently?
Well, like I said, as far as I know, from the north, we have seen these things, we have witnessed these things. Sometimes I will be driving. The youth will stop me with cutlasses and say, shout PDP. I will say PDP. They say, okay, go. When I move, another gang somewhere can stop me and say, shout APC. I will say APC. I shout and go. You see, it is that bad. They have been divided
By the politicians.
And you dare not argue. If you refuse, the next thing you hear, "Pwah!" on your windscreen, and then your car will be battered. And if you are not lucky, even your body will be battered. So, but we are now trying to say, look, enough of all this nonsense. How many of those politicians' children are here? How many of their children are drugged, carrying cutlasses here? Don't you have sense? And we will not only stop at the youth, we will also, we have now agreed on how we can sanction any politician that will do anything that is something that it will not be good for either our youth or for the entire community. We are trying to look at that, how we can sanction such politicians.